and all sorts of different aspects of it as well. For those of you who've never seen me before, my name is Derek. I've been in the scene for something like 43, 44 years. Been active since I was pretty young. As it happened, psychology is my job and my work. That's what I do for a living. And I run talks and do workshops mainly for free as much as I can because it's really important to me. It's also really important to me that anything I say is actually factual. It's research, it's factual. If it's an opinion, I'll tell you, or you'll probably laugh because it's a bit different. That's really important as well. But consent is a difficult concept, I think, for most of us. So this is an hour's workshop. If you are in psychology or counselling or psychotherapy or you're a psychiatrist or you do anything along those lines, you can have my number afterwards and you can get a free CD as well for an hour, which you're welcome to have. I've been on the scene. I was a switch on and off for many years. I started off as a submissive, been a switch, back to submissive, but more of a cut queen and into emotional pain than I am more into physical anymore. I'm a bit tired and a bit too tired. I can't recover in the same way. But I still like a lot of that. And I really like power exchange. I'm massively into power exchange relationships, where I am at the bottom, not at the top. That's not to say I haven't hit a lot of people in life and done a lot of things in different ways. It's not my bag anymore, definitely the bottom. So I talk a lot about personal experience as much as I can. We're talking about consent. What would you like to get from this workshop? What do you think should be covered here? What did you kind of go, I want to learn about consent, but what did you want to learn?
How to approach the topic of talking about consent.
How to approach the topic of
talking about consent.
Talking about consent. Okay. In a vanilla relationship, in a power exchange relationship, in a kink relationship, or just in life. Like this is again, you see that's part of the topic here, isn't it? Because a lot of vanilla people, Esther Perel, is really starting to talk about consent, and she's a couples therapist, and she's got a TED talk, and she's got a couple of books, and there are some really good people around, but consent is really starting to become something bigger in the outside world as much as it's here. Can I touch you? What's the permission? I was saying in the last workshop, I was just away with about 80 kids, and for some reason, fucking love kids, you know, it's not all of them, but a lot of them develop this vomiting fucking bug. So, you know, as he's spending quite a lot of dollars because it's really expensive in America. They're all sort of getting slightly dehydrated. I'm really looking at that. They're vomiting. They're covered in a rash from here to here, a real viral type rash. Making sure I've got the right creams because, again, checking allergies and everything else as well. Because when you put a cheerleading uniform on, that shit is really hot. And it makes you sweat and feel but they're fucking world champions who are about to compete and defend their titles. But if you think I'm touching a child's body from here to the top of their bloody vulva, I'm talking about right the vulva, this rash has gone all the way down. You know, I'm doing it with a lot of the other kids in a similar room. Where can I touch you? Do you want this cream on you? Don't you? Or spoke to your mum and dad. What do you want me to do? Yeah, it's fine. And it's fine. And it's like, well, it isn't just fine. You've got to be okay. Or do you want to do any of this by yourself? But you have to wash your fingers straight afterwards because of the cream or whatever. It's such a big thing. And then we're teaching our children consent, where they can be touched, where they can't be touched, what it is, but also going too far. You've also got a group of kids who are saying very, very clearly, sorry, I look around and I'm really aware there are kids. We've got to be careful with our children. If we are turning around and saying to a young child, you have the right to say no at any time, actually they don't as children. They really don't. So we've also got kids who are refusing medical care and different things. It's not saying you can't touch me, I know my rights. Fucking watch me. So we've got to be careful, and there are things that we can do that actually might invade a child's privacy or what they see as privacy or their right to privacy. And then we're also telling them you've got to tell them anything bad that happens. So again, we're not teaching consent very well in schools and other places either. And I go into schools and I teach consent on a regular basis. What does the word consent mean to you? It's a really good question to ask yourselves.
For me, consent means knowing that the other person has agreed and they understand it.
That's an issue. How do you test whether somebody understands it? They might have agreed, but do they understand?
I can tell that they have to relate it back to me in their own words to make sure that the understanding is there.
Right. So then you're checking and clarifying what you're actually understanding and what that means. I talk about people leaving us, they come into a workshop, so people who know, it's all right. I'm also really, 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 and I really am. When you want to start with a teacher, you fucking learn about biology, the basics, learn about anatomy, please. Learn about how to resuscitate somebody, learn about how to care for somebody should something go wrong, not just how to fucking flog someone. So consent to them.
An enthusiastic yes for permission to do so.
And what if a person is traumatized and they're a faller and that's the way it is? So I'm being a cunt, right? Right, that's what I'm doing on purpose.
There's also the element of implied consent. So if you go to the whole trying to check your pulse, they hold their wrist out.
Yeah.
Physically said yes, but it's implied.
Yeah, and implied consent is a big deal, and it's around a lot, isn't it, as well? Because implied consent is a word that's a buzz.
Also, I think they can have a big say, especially when it's about consent, or any kind of maternity play in any kind of lifestyle, whether that's a maternity lifestyle or another lifestyle.
Yeah, so let me be a cunt again, because, you know, that's what I do for a living, really. So you have written consent for me that you can do all these things to me, and it's absolutely fine. What if I say that you coerced me to something? Coerced me to act? Where's your proof whether I did or didn't?
So I would probably have it as a discussion in a group chat, or like if it's something we're talking about in on like a message.
Yes, but Your Honour, she did have a group chat with private messages she sent me, which I now can't get anymore, and I can't get to. She phoned me, it's a phone call, so it's this phone call, she said, I don't, she's gonna fucking bring it out. I'm being a cunt on purpose, right?
No.
And it is about proof, but
Isn't the whole thing just sort of, I would say, grey area?
well, it's a grey area, it's a fucking monster.
And it's identifying what can and not. So when you apply, like, that's one thing. But then, do you want, if somebody asks me to break their fingers, that's a separate.
Well, a friend of mine asked David to break her finger. I know somebody else who asked their partner to break their rib. And that's fine, but you don't really understand what breaking a rib means unless you've had a broken rib. Like, it really fucking hurts. So how do you know it won't puncture the lung? How do you know it won't cause other major damage? How do you know it won't go into the muscle, or even if you break it the wrong way? And how do you know what you're even doing to fucking break a rib? Like, really, what do you know? And that's one of the other problems. And the friend who had her finger broken by David, because they did do that, she was very much like, fuck my life, I really shouldn't have asked that. Because again, it's about the implications of these things that we do afterwards. Which is my argument about consent, and you might not like this one, and it's funny, I understand people come and go, so please don't do this, I'll do what, fine. But challenge me with something. That's exciting too. You can't read consent to something because you do not know the long-term implications of it, ever. Like if I break, like, I have really arthritic thumbs, you could argue it's to do with age, I'm nearly 60. Actually, it's not, it's to do with the fucking insulin inhibitors that I take on a regular basis that really impact because of cancer. And I've dislocated this thumb 3 or 4 times now. Even to unscrew or do something really fucking hurts. Like I said in the last workshop, I have injections into my hips regularly. It's because I've been punched so fucking much over the years, because I like quite violent sex sometimes, not always. But it split the bursa on the top. And I have a steroid injection every 6 months or so, to even help the sleep. Because if I lie down, I'm like, oh my god, that really hurts. But when I was in my 20s, and I thought, fucking hell, I love this shit, and you ever thought that when I'm 50 something, not only am I going to get cancer, because of course nobody gets cancer, 1 and 2, but not that even doesn't matter. No, the shit I do now, I'm fit, I'm young, and I'm slim, I'm active, I'll be fine. We have no concept of the future person that we are. We don't, and we're after the moment. When your dick is hard, or your cunt is wet, and your nipples are erect, do you think sensibly? No. We really don't, not in that moment. So sometimes it's really about asking, is this about the moment or is this about me in the future? Which, by the way, we don't have much of a concept of. I taught my kids about future me, and I always laugh when Kaylin, my third eldest, she still says it now, even though she's in her late 20s, she has to put her future me very great, but that can go to that. This is a fridge again, because she likes a cold coat. But that concept, we don't really truly get it. So consent is a new model for most of us. It really is. It's not an old thing. Consent wasn't around. Consent wasn't around in the scene when I first started in it. If you wanted to get into that club, you definitely had to suck that person's dick, or you had to pay them, you had to fuck them. Consent was not around, not in the same way that it is now. And then often what we get is an overreaction around consent, rather than let's look at the facts and what's really happening and what has happened. Who here is white, over the age of 28, and a man? Right? What is your individual idea and your principle when you get accused of something that might go against you? What's your plan? What's your backup plan? What are you going to do? Because if you don't have one, I'm telling you now, it's a fucking write that. If I go too legally, what do I do to defend myself when consent goes wrong? Who here is of any ethnicity, female, even though they don't know shit what they're trans, just that identity, and under the age of 28 as well. Right, as a woman, you are very likely to be sexually assaulted at some point in your life. The stats for young women in America is 1 in 3, for boys it's 1 in 6. 1 in 3. I don't know many women who have been sexually assaulted in some way, shape or form, whether it's verbal or any other way. What's your plan? What's your backup? What will you do about it? Plus the likelihood of success of you getting any form of prosecution for it is very fucking small. Very fucking small, because there's a difference between proving some kind of consent violation, enough for the police, maybe not for an event or something else, especially if someone has a history or anything else. That gets really difficult. I'm a woman about to hit my 60s. I'm 60 next June. Does that put me at less or more risk? Don't answer if you heard me talk at lunch. Am I more likely to get sexually assaulted or less likely to get sexually assaulted if I'm about to hit 60? You know, I'm more likely to get sexually assaulted. Before the age of roughly 26 to 28, young women are likely to get sexually assaulted. Over the age of 60, you're much more likely to get assaulted and or mugged or something else as well. Why? Because we're infirm. We're an easy target. So the older we are, the less likely we are to fight back, to have the capacity to fight back away. So we're more targeted. That causes where consent doesn't even matter. Neither can talk about consent. You know what? In law, it's fucking irrelevant. You are not allowed to consent to violence against you. Who here is a submissive or a switch? Anyone ever had a bruise or a mark or anything in any way, shape or form? So you've already broken the law as a submissive because you can't consent to violence against you. Anyone here a switch or a top who's done something to somebody else? Again, you've broken the law, and on that person can't consent. So your person doesn't even fucking matter. It's a really old law, 1861, you cannot consent to violence against you. So even if Hannibal Lecter says, well, he wanted me to leave him, and he wanted to die, that's not going to hold it in court. He's still guilty of murder. It's irrelevant. Or brain damage, if he just slices off a few bits and fries them, I said that earlier, but it's irrelevant. So you're already breaking the law. Controlling of coercive behaviour in an intimate family relationship. So again, that's a more modern law. Coercive behaviour. When we start controlling someone's money, anyone here love power exchange? I do. Fucking love power exchange. So I want you to control me. I want you to help me decide what I'm marrying. Because they help, because sometimes some of you are very fucking mad. So, I have to know what you're going to help me choose later. Fuck off, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not wearing heels. It's really fucking much, whatever it is. So, I actually like power exchange. It's my thing. I like being a couple. I want to fuck other people. But I don't really want to fuck other people in that way. I want to fuck them in my way. But we're all quite interested about where we go and what that means. Someone different to me, whatever that looks like. I want you to create pain, but not that much pain, because that would, oh no, I can't do that if that's the case. And I'm not wearing a butt plug at work, or I'm not going to put my Levi in if I'm fucking sitting across in a family and doing 2 children, they is, it's really fucking professional. I don't care if it's with a kinky time, it's inappropriate at that time. And those people didn't consent to that. Now, I'm not going to go into the store with no knickers on, with a short skirt on, and over with about 3 cucumbers and a bottle of lube, just you think as funny as I go out. So we're not. Because again, those people don't consent to that. They're not stupid. People aren't stupid. But
that is an issue. A lot of people ignore the fact that they do things in public or they do things that can be seen, and they forget that the audience are not consenting.
Oh, I have such an issue with this. Look, if you want to go and have a photograph taken when you're wearing next to nothing, you open up and you've got this massive coat on in New York, good for you. But if somebody sees you, you are guilty of a sexual crime. So it's a sexual crime. You will, if prosecuted, you might not be, really fucking hope you're not. When you squat to pee in public, I said this in my last workshop, you squat, you think, oh, nobody can see me. You know, you dip around, you're fucking flashing everything, your vulva's hanging out, or your cock's out. It's a lot easier for cops, right? There's a lot more hidden aspect to a cop. I mean, I've just done that. God knows what that is.
Ambition, like it.
Oh dear. So it's a lot easier. So it's lots of it's quite hard to piss if you've got a hard on. It's possible, but it's quite hard. So it's a lot more hidden. The minor side, the public minor side, and different laws in different countries and different cities. And the city of London itself has a very different law around. Bit of a fallacy, I've really been tried. There's actually you're carrying a bale of straw, and you've got something else in the back of your car, and you say something publicly, it's fine for you to piss. Don't do it. It's just it's a fucking fairy tale. It's not going to work for you. You are exposing yourself, especially families. In the back of the car, if you decide to have sex, your handprints are all up there, you know, a bit like Titanic or whatever. You know, oh, it's the best night ever. If we people are looking in the car, at least maybe you can be in an awful lot of trouble. And again, on the sex offender register for 10 fucking years. So consent is also about the other people. It's not just about you. It's also about how we understand each other. Right, so the things I'm going to go through. Consent is a concept. You need to understand, so I asked you, what do you understand by the word consent? Can I suggest if you're about to play with something, you ask me that question? What do you understand about the word consent? What does it mean to you? How important is it to you? What does it mean? It's a very good question to ask because when I work with couples or couples or point groups as adults, one of the things we talk about is bronzes, silvers, and golds in relationships because you've got this idea that you understand who's in a partnership of more than 2 months anymore, more than a year, more than 5 years. We assume that we know that our partner knows what we mean when they say, but I want you to be faithful. You fucking don't. Marriage, everyone married. So marriage is an implicit contract. It's not an explicit contract. We assume when we get married, for example, that person, they understand what it means to be married. But what does it mean to be married? That you own me? That I'm chattel? That I came with some kind of specialised, you paid my father a dowry? Fucking hell, we live in a very different age. But it might mean that you're the one that stays at home and doesn't work. It might mean that you're the one that has the kids, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. It's an implicit contract, it's not explicit. And it probably means that you're going to be faithful to me. Unless you have the conversation about, no mate, I'm fucking Polly and I want this and I want that, we're getting married because. Or you might want to open up your relationship later even if you're married. I say even. A lot of people end up opening up, sorry, your birthday, that my home. Maybe it's being filmed, but apparently that's legal as well. So it's really complex, isn't it, about what we mean by words sometimes. I want you to be loyal, I want you to be faithful. You need to ask, I want you to hit me. How? Where? How hard? With what? All those things make a difference, don't they? Anyone here like being hit? Or hitting? Yeah, so we like hitting. With what? How? How hard? And what is our partner like? You know, we're about to go with somebody else. Fuck me, we need to understand those words. I've got shit at home that's fucking metal with a massive piece of wood on the end. You crack that around my jaw, I'm in hospital for a very long time. But if you smack it into my buttocks, it might be okay. How much physiology, how much anatomy do you understand about where it's okay to hit somebody? What drugs they're on, everything else as well. So let's go through a few things. So, consent is really, and this isn't a set of rules, this is a set of guidelines, so I'm asking you to think about these things. Your choice and your free will matters here, right? It really matters here. You can choose what you learn from this, you can choose to say she's full of shit. That's up to you, that's okay. There's a real pressure as well in kink though. Who's been in kink for under a year? Under a year. Under 5 years. Who's been in it over 10?
Keep going.
20, 30, 40. Yeah, so how old am I again? I started when I was 17. And I'm 60 in, I'm so old, I'm 60 in like 10 months or whatever. So it's been a long time. Consent wasn't around when I started, it's very different. I'd say, I feel like I'm repeating myself because we've been here. Consent's about, it changes as well at different times and in different cultures as to what it means and what's expected from people. But understanding what it means to somebody else is also very important. What is it that you're using on me? What are the implications of it? Again, I said in the last workshop, I do not believe you can consent to something long term if you don't fucking know what the implications are of what you're about to do. You do not genuinely know that you might need hip injections to be burnt away. You might not know that if I break that finger, it becomes arthritic. 3 or 4 years or 10 years down the line, you might have arthritis anyway, but actually it's really bad in your finger. Why? Because you fucking broke it, that's why. My daughter, when we were at a cheer competition in America, she caught someone and she said, Mum, I think I've hurt my hand. Yeah, that's a broken knuckle. This finger, quite major. I mean, her hands are going to be off for a finger, she doesn't look at them. But she's broken her finger so many times in cheerleading. And I sent it to a friend who was a surgeon, and he was like, fuck me, her fingers are a mess. I know, but I'm asking, do you think this is broken? I said, yeah, that. So I get the right metal splint, I'm doing the right things, I'm talking about ice, I'm talking about heat, I'm talking about all the things that she would do to help herself, and she's like, yeah, I know, but I need to catch me. So she's consenting to that, but she doesn't really know the pain she's going to be in when she's in her 50s. She just doesn't. You don't think far ahead. People consent to all this stuff. There's a real move on this thing as well to retroactive withdrawal of consent. I didn't know you were going to do that. I didn't understand what it meant to you. Shouldn't have done that. So, do I think we should get things in writing? I do. However, it's not going to stop you from being prosecuted potentially, and it still can be used as evidence against you because you can't consent. And what you write is very interesting. I had a client a few years ago who got everything in writing. She met this guy about a year and a half ago. She met this guy, he works for the NHS, sorry NHS workers. He was in some kind of doctor's office, he decided to meet her in there. This is your doctor's office, by the way, so let's just get that right when you go in as a patient. I know it's fucking cold here, I'm freezing. And she said very clearly in the written consent that we must have safe sex. And to me, she's in my fucking mind, she knows. We must have safe sex. For me, safe sex means you wear a condom all times. You do not come outside the condom, or even on my body, or whatever. Please keep the condom on at all times. Do you agree to that? She said yes. When they're having sex in this doctor's office, check the carpets and go in. So, take off fluids on the bottom there. And this was in London, so you know, you're lucky. But she changed the subject. He stealthed her. You know what stealthing is? Yeah. So stealthing is a slipping off of a condom without telling somebody.
Not slipping, tightening.
Well, slipping it off on purpose is very, you know. So you can slip the condom, you take the condom off, and you still penetrate the person, and you can even come inside it. It has the same sentence now as rape in the UK. It is a very serious crime. However, so the problem is, and she did go to the police, and I advocate going to the police. I understand it's not in all of our streams, you're not obviously do it, and actually you're very unlikely to get an actual prosecution, unless you've got quite a lot of proof. However, if you give someone's name often enough, and it's a habit that they do, eventually their name keeps coming up. So it's good to add proof, but if you don't have screens, you don't do that. The problem is, she also admits into about 10 minutes before that, she said, fuck it, do whatever you want to me. She didn't mean not wear a condom. She didn't mean that, but he can now use that. So the condom slipped off in his fingers, funny enough, and he carried on until he came inside her. She didn't give consent. Nothing she could do about it, because 10 minutes before she said, do what you want to me. Now, you can't do what you want to someone, because you can't consent to violence against you, but there's no proof now that a stealth rape happened. So again, understanding the law is really important, understanding what happens as well. So consent varies as to relationships, as to cultures, as to different things as well. If we're brought up in a family culture that has an idea around consent and things, it makes a huge difference. I think consent personally is like an upside down pyramid. There's lots and lots of stuff up front, and then it's the good stuff until you've actually discussed it. Problem is, if you're having a lot of meeting or about to do stuff, what you really want is to keep the other way around. So I think chat about consent, let's get to the good stuff. Especially if we're really turned on and we really fancy the person, you think they might go, there are other inherent ways. If we've got some kind of trauma in our life, if we're a fauna or a people pleaser, we're much less likely to hold on to our personal values, morals, and ethics, and we're likely to give up on consent, because if I please you, you might stay. That doesn't work, by the way, but that's often what we think, especially around neurodivergence. If you have rejection sensitivity dysphoria or black and white thinking. And a lot of neurodivergent people are attracted to BDSM. A lot are. And one of the reasons is that if we're on the spectrum, fuck me, it's much easier to come into kink, because when we come into kink, everything is discussed, everything is consented to, everything is agreed to. So I understand the rules, I understand what it means, and I know that I can just listen to the rules and now we can do something. And if we're a dopamine chaser, if we're an ADHD, oh my God, it's really exciting. It gives us a lot of dopamine and it feels really, really good. And we love it. And we get the dopamine hit, especially if it's a bit different and a bit alternative. It's fucking understandable that those entities are really, really attracted to kink in some way, shape, or form. However, it doesn't always mean we're particularly brilliant at consent. Your person on the spectrum is much more likely to be better at consent in this discussion. Your ADHD is much more likely to let go of a lot of these things, because you might reject them, so I really want to please you, and it sounds really exciting, can we do that? It sounds really nice, thank you very much, let's go. So we have to be careful about what we're holding on to, and not make decisions in a moment if it goes against our morals, our ethics, or our values. I really recommend you all start with your own morals, ethics, and values, because if you make sense of something, if it doesn't fit in with them, you're going to feel fucked up about it. So I often say to people, write your own Haynes manual. For those of you who are old, what's a Haynes manual? Go on, old person.
Someone else Decker's
The Haynes manual.
It's a workshop manual for a car.
It is a workshop manual for a car.
Everything.
Yes, so, or a motorbike. So if you had a motorbike or a car, and let's say you bought a Ford, whatever it was, you can go into the shop, W.H. Smith was probably still around then, yeah it was, and you can buy, oh I've got this Ford, and I'm going to buy this manual, and I'm going to buy it, because if I look through this manual and tell me everything I need to know about this car, taking off every fucking wheel, how to, what tools I need, it's going to tell me everything about that car. If you are a sub, if you're a top, if you're a bottom, if you're a dom, I don't give a fuck what you are, write your own Haynes manual. Write your own introduction about yourself, about what works and what doesn't, about what you're moral. Look, if you have a first date, don't give it to someone. It's a bit fucking intense, right? So give it too much. However, if you give them a little bit of it or an indication, you've got your own thing written about, if I consent to this, I don't really want to, how many people please bear that in mind. I can contradict myself, or whatever it is. If you write truly about yourself, you know the things that are going to go against it and they're going to go. I'm a big believer in writing your own fucking Haynes manual for yourself. Has an introduction, what sort of person am I? This is how to turn me on. This is how to turn me off. This is my aftercare. This is my consent. This is what I like. And again, these things fucking change. Guess what? Computers are here. You can fucking change whatever you read. It's not an actual fucking book. You can reprint it. And you can change it. And I can say, honestly, after 40-something years doing what I do, all my kinks have changed. Some have come and gone, some have adapted. Plus, I've had to adapt. When you're older, or you get an injury or something goes wrong, you have to fucking adapt. I was in Starlight Express for a year plus. I can fucking roll a skate better than most people I know. I bloody love it. Quads, 99, sorry, you're just faking it, 99. But I also know if I get on my quads and I go down the high street and we spin, jump and all those things, if I fall over and break a hip, it's going to take me a lot longer than it's going to take you, or like if you're younger, because you heal at different ways.
You don't bang so
I don't bang so well anymore. When I hit the floor, I bang fucking brilliantly. But when I hit the floor with a bang, that's different, right? Also, we assume that people love things around consent. Oh, you love a blowjob, I don't have to give a blowjob. No, you fucking don't. You know how the last person wanted a blowjob, or they like getting licked out. That's what you knew. Guess what you do to be an expert? You ask the next person what they like. It's quite simple. However, do they consent to you talking about these things? Fucking hell, you've really got to find out. Betty Martin writes something, you can look it up if you want to make it, called The Wheel of Consent. Anyone ever heard of that? Betty Martin's Wheel of Consent. So what she argues about is that you can, if I've got a picture on, or can actually, it's not very, you won't see it very easily. You can come up and ask me afterwards, I'll show it to you if you want, so you can actually see it a bit more close up. She's very much about, this is what I will do, this is what can I do, I'm asking, this is what will you, and this is what, yes, you can. So it's about people asking for what they want, it's about agreeing, and it's about telling what's okay. So she argues that there is a four-way concept rather than a two-way. So it's about asking, it's about saying yes or no. Problem is, if you are a people pleaser, and there's things you really want to do because this person really wants to do it, then here, regardless of your intentions, they've had sex and didn't really want to carry on, they didn't want to stop it because it's too much hassle, you're really worried about what the other person may do, so you just went on. Anyone have done that? Anyone else? Right? So we do that quite a lot, and people do that quite a lot. But you're actually not really consenting. And actually, it's probably shit sex anyway. I get so many fuckers, I've got a couple of I'm a single submissive. Oh my god, I get so really sorry for this sort of age group. I can't tell you how many 20-year-olds write to me. It is fucking unbelievable. In the submissive, they're going to tell me what a brilliant time they're going to give me. No, you aren't. You don't know me, you don't know what I like. Oh, but I can go for hours. I'd fall asleep. You think that's thrilling? It's not. I don't I'm like that 70% of women who don't come for fucking penetration. I'd make you come. Oh god, mate. I've had so much sex in my life with all sorts of genders and all sorts of human beings, with all sorts of things being inserted into me. I would be what you would call a whore or a slut or a bitch, but my figures hit more towards 1,000 than they do to 100. Let's put it that way. The amount of orgies and groupings I've done, fucking is, I think I lost count at 800 or 900, right? Not my thing, so much anymore, very much more daring. I'm all about connection. I wasn't meant, clearly. I remember once being at this fucking orgy, and I remember thinking, I've got my hands on two cocks, I've got a cock in my ass, a cock in my cunt, a cock in my mouth, and I'm just suspended in the air. And I remember thinking, God, no one has said my face is just going to fucking face part, and I break my nose.
I was thinking underachieving now.
Definitely have more space somewhere. Probably. No. So, I've done a lot of stuff, and I really don't have any regrets. That's what's really important, because everything I've done, I know that I've wanted to do, I've agreed to what's been right for me. There's nothing worse than having that regret. But this 20-year-old wrote to me the other day, and he's like, do you like younger men? I said, I like men who can read. And what the fuck does that mean? I went, read my fucking profile is what it means. It's too long. Oh, fuck. If you think my profile of 3 paragraphs is too fucking long, you are going to be shit at sex, and you are not going to understand any aspect of consent or anything else as well. Do you know what his immediate reaction was? You're just fucking bitter because you're closer to death than I am. I went, oh, mate, I might be closer to death than you are, but it was my dry fucking crispy old fucking cunt that you wanted to bang 2 minutes ago. Come on, fucking there. I don't consent to being asked. Fuck off, read first, but even if you put filters on. So, Betty Martin's will of consent about what we're willing to serve in. Now, serving doesn't necessarily mean submissive. It means you want oral, but I might not be willing to give oral. Maybe it's a trauma response to me. Maybe it's something that I don't feel comfortable with. It's not something I'm experienced of or like, for example. One of my clients, a couple, they've been really sort of flirting with polyamory and doing different things recently. And she was really unsure as to whether she was bi or she thought she might be. And they were in Berlin recently. She said, I took part in a facility competition. I do really like it. And that's one of the best ways to find out, isn't it? Rather than just having this concept in our heads where everybody says it's okay. It's about what we serve, what we take, what we allow, and what we accept. They are her 4 principles. So look at Betty Martin's Wheel of Consent. It's really worth looking at. Why am I saying all of this? So, transactional analysis talks about level 1, level 2, and level 3 script. A level 3 script, psychologically, is a sort of shit that's probably like to be in hospital or jail. So you've got to be careful about what sort of person we are as well. Is this likely to hurt me? What will it look like? What are the implications? And what this person is asking you to do, we all know it's illegal. You cannot consent. There are so many things that come in about what kink looks like, including our porn laws and everything else as well. You might think, as you said earlier, about having an encrypted file on your phone. Don't go to America with that shit on your phone. They can take your phone and do what they like with it. And they do find stuff, and they'll find anything that they want to find. And when they start investigating you, please be careful, because they'll find everything that you've looked at. Everything that you've looked at. Then someone starts digging, and that makes a real difference. So it's really hard. Extreme criminals are based on possession. Again, I was talking about this earlier because some of the questions clashed. Hugh Edwards, who's just been arrested and just been found guilty of child pornography. Well, it says that he created pornography. Actually, unfortunately, what he did is he possessed pornography, but because somebody sent it to him and he believed it and sent it to him, that's classed as creation of pornography. So be really careful about who you talk to and how and why. Can I just say, if a registered paedophile says, can I send you pictures, don't consent to that. It's a really bad idea for your own safety in your own future. It's not a good idea, but what it is, we also hate saying, no, who here struggles with the word no? Okay, please be aware of that. Please be aware of that when you go into something. Take things slower. Look at what the Lord is sending to you. Because if you think, I remember once a 14-year-old babysitter, her name was Charlie, came into my house and I said, hi Joe, what are you doing here? This is quite a long time ago. She now has 2 children and whatever. What are you doing here? She said, I'm going up the field. I went, oh Charlie, why are you going up the field? Because in my little village where I used to live, it's called one thing only. You're going to pubs and you're up the field. Your parents can't know about it. She was nearly 15. So I'm hoping she's saying I've fallen madly in love with this person. Not that I think sex and love have to go together at all. This is a vulnerable, quiet little girl, right? Who has this massive crush on somebody that I know she has a crush on, who is 18. So I said to her, who are you meeting up with? She mentions his name. And I said, sweetheart, I really want you not to go. Can I stay here for now? She said, no, he loves me. Have you slept with anyone before? No. Charlie, he doesn't fucking love you. He just wants to fuck you. And I know that he's got a girlfriend. He's got a girlfriend. No, he's going to dump her in the morning. Oh, after. I can't really phone the police at that moment. There's not a lot I can do. You'd be surprised. Even as a safeguarding officer, there's very little that I can do. Often when you phone the police about things like this, or you have a safeguarding incident, there's a difference between safeguarding and protection. They're very different things. Safeguarding is about prevention. I did dial 999 and said, can you? And they went, we can get someone there in a few hours. Like, I think a lot of things. Do you think I can find them? Like, I can't find them. Plus, I've got 4 children this week who are very, very little. And they'll go somewhere else. And of course, he did fuck her. He did. Guess what happened the next morning? He didn't dump his girlfriend and he didn't love her. Again, she just said, but if I give him my virginity, this is how we've solved this shit, it means he loves me and he will want me. And I was like, he won't. And he doesn't. And it's such a difficult lesson to teach people. If I please, it will all be okay and they'll like me. And we've got to be careful why we come into kink. Because if we're trying to really trauma, we're trying to undo something that's happened to us, we might say the wrong things. So please be careful about the yes that you give from people. Again, I said this earlier, trauma responses are fight, flight, freeze, but also friend, fuck, flop, phone, and fall. If the person you're sleeping with has a fuck trauma response, they will fuck you. If they're a fawner, they probably won't say no. Please think about these things before you go ahead, because it's really important to get educated, make educated decisions, especially when it comes to this stuff. Because we do all sorts of things and regret them. Has anyone ever done anything that they've regretted? In their lives, at least once, right? We have, haven't we, even as a kid or whatever it is.
Sometimes you say really quickly because I can't remember.
Yeah. Well, that'll be in years ago, I tell you, but it might not be. But yes, some people need to repeat things 20, 30 times, but I don't want my repeat to be something for any of you that puts you in danger or makes you have regrets, because it doesn't change the way someone feels about you. So we do things and we regret and it has a big influence. Right, so again, I've got a writing on this, happy to show you any kindness. It's really important because you are the only one who will suffer the consequences of the decisions that you make. I get a lot of clients who say, what do you think I should do? I'm not like a normal therapist, I'm not fucking opinion, I'll tell you, believe me, I'll tell you. Especially if I know you, we've had quite a long relationship. Why the fuck are you doing that? Because that just confirms this, let's not do that. However, we often don't hear what other people say, we hear what we think we want to do. and we bastardize it and we make it different. So, we've got different aspects of consent. We've got express consent. So express consent is yet I clearly stated where you want, you clearly stated what you want, and we both understand. So express consent, probably one of the best. However, if it's verbal, it's very different to written, to be on proof, but there again, you can't consent to violence against you. Yes, I want you to use me, and then the verbal can take over in the middle of something like that's why I respect. Fucking do whatever you want to do. Great, thank you very much. So you've got express consent in this one. We then have implied consent. So implied consent is it's inferred, it's shown by somebody. Can I fuck you? They open their legs. Can I fuck you with a strap on? They bend over. But it is implied. Does the bending over mean that I can actually do this? I've got a 44-inch strap on here, which is 6 foot wide. You definitely want me to do this because you're a monitor. So it's like, again, that implied consent is a really good idea as well. So you might think it's not sexy. I'm very much, you need to have 2 other forms of consent, especially when it comes to kink. That's the opt-in and opt-out versions. I'm a big believer in an opt-in system. What I mean by that is everything is off the table until we have discussed it. When we've discussed it is when it's opted back in and it's standard. So most of us go for the opt-out. Do most of you go for the opt-out? That everything's sort of okay, and then you maybe haven't spoken about that one bit and someone checked the form.
No, I've always done it.
You do go around. If I can suggest anything to you, please do more of the choice to say nothing is on the table until we have this.
And I sort of every session, even with the same paper.
Yeah, it's really fucking important. Informed consent is not informed consent. What does that mean? Informed. We know what's about to happen. We know who is involved, who, what, why, when, how. Nothing's never how. I remember seeing an advert on FetLife many years ago when this guy said, I really want to give my wife a good time. However, what I'd also like is that I want to see if she actually knows if it's my cock or not. So what I was thinking is I'm going to put, sorry you're cold, it's so fucking cold in there, isn't it? My hands are freezing. So what I want is for a couple of guys to turn up. I'm going to make sure she's sensory deprived, and then we'll take a couple of turns and see if she notices that there's a difference. She's not consenting, fucking hell. That is major. I remember once when I was tied to a bed, again, stories, and I said to my partner, I'm really fine with this, because there were 3 or 4 guys who wanted to do these things, I was like, I'm up for it. The only thing I don't want, this particular one, I like all sorts of genders and all sorts of ways. I don't want any women there who are just watching. I want this, we've gone through a lot of things, this is one of the rules. Halfway through, when things were happening, I think this woman talking legal. I called myself out immediately. I'm not allowed to know who these people are, that's all part of it. Eventually I'm on the phone, my line got comes up, what the fuck are you doing? That's a violation of consent. He said, well, I didn't know that she was going to come. But no, as soon as she's come, why do you want to be disappointed? No, I'd rather fucking be disappointed than have my consent violated. It's quite simple. That's the problem. We just keep coercing and pushing. So informed consent is knowing. And if we could go with informed and express consent, that's probably the best package. I know what's going to happen here. I know how it's going to happen. I know a rough idea of how it's going to be. And I know the implications of what's about to happen for me as well. That's what I'd like to do, informed and expressed.
I didn't understand what informed was in this.
So informed
That's
is...
the scenario, but what
Yeah.
was actually.
So if we look at medicine, and we look at the NHS, or we look at basic medicine, what you've got consent is given by the person who has a clear appreciation of what's about to be given to them or done to them in some way, shape or form. So when you sign a surgical permission slip, you know about the risks, you know roughly what's going to happen, roughly, because hey, things can change. That's also written in there. You know what meds are going to be given before, during, and after, maybe not perfectly. It's really, it's not just spoken about, it's very clear and specific. And actually good goals are smart goals, and specific comes into that. So it's got that more clarity. If you're about to have some surgery and somebody said there's a 30% chance of you living through this surgery, and that was your informed consent, I really want to know that figure. Whereas somebody said to me, there's a fair chance that you'll live through this. My concept of fair might be 50% or 70%. If you told me 30, I might not be consented to have that said.
You see the differences, like I said, we're going to do impact play, that's just general works.
So fucking general. What are you
I can
using
use this
where?
wooden panel on the buttocks to this level of impact.
And often people say, bring your favourite implement. Oh, well, my favourite implement, I think it's fucking learn to use it. You see, some of my shit is pretty serious. Do you even know how to use it? Do you know where to hit me with it? Do you know how to hit me with it? Do you understand the risks of hitting me with it? Especially when I've got some stuff that really is quite out there. And I have. I've got fucking things maybe like a ball arc in it. Probably take 2 people just to lift up and hit someone. If you hit someone too hard, you're fucking breaking your neck through the headboard of the bed anyway. Like it's, whereas other things, like it's not meant for just hitting someone like this. It's got a lot more uses in that. So it's understanding these things, and that's what it is about that being filmed. How, what, when, where, what are the implications of you using it? And as I gave the last story in my last workshop, never use a balloon with inside someone's cunt if they have a coil.
Or just never use a balloon with full stop without
Oh,
bombing it.
I've got one from like the other side where someone was requesting something from me, they didn't understand the implications. So I can tell that they didn't know what they were asking.
So for me, if I'm about to, like, if I'm topping you, I don't do anymore, but if I'm about to top you, you don't fucking understand what's about to happen, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it because I don't know what's going to come back on me. So for me, one of my rules is think about the headlines in the newspapers tomorrow, or think about when the police knock on your door. So this woman, again, one of my clients, she says to him, I would like for you to pay me until I leave, and I'd like you to come over all the bus and join inside me. They've both been tested and everything, and I mixed up and kind of rubbed in. That's what she wanted. She was very clear about what she wanted. He didn't say, have you done that before? Do you understand the risks of that? Can you tell me what it means to even bleed? Every strike, how much, what sort of pain, what level of pain? Does it matter what the cane is made of? Because different canes will make you bruise or make you bleed. So again, you need to know what you're using. And we're not talking about a Singapore cane where somebody is in some kind of punishment system which will absolutely bleed every time, because that's the fucking point of it. And you're in a Velcro system to keep you there. He didn't check any of that. He does all of this. They have a great night, according to him. They had sex, it was all great. She's disappeared the next morning, a knock comes on the door. Who do you think's at the door? It's fucking police. And they took him in for questioning. He went down voluntarily. He was accused of sexual assault, battery, and rape. But he kept some of them. But hopefully, what you've got is a decent copper at that moment, having a look at all the evidence. And they said, listen, she clearly consented to this. The point is, I don't think she knew what she was asking for either. She hadn't done it before. So I think it's a really good question to ask. Have you done this before? Let's build up to it. If you are sleeping with someone whose sexual proclivities are more towards women and you are playing with somebody, when she turns around and she says, fuck me, what did you do in the middle of that one, David? You say no. You say no. She's a fucking lesbian. If she's screaming her fuck me in the middle of that session because she's so overwhelmed, don't have any regrets. What you do is you stop there and then, you then stop the whole session, you have a conversation. If she's still saying fuck me 48 hours later, please, and she's consenting to it in a different mindset, fuck her as much as you like then, and she wants to be fucked. If in the middle of a session she changes her mind or does things differently, then we are fucked. And we live in a consent culture that really starts to educate people about this, and it makes a difference. There are consent apps you can get now, where you send it to somebody and somebody says, here you go, I consent to all of that. Anyone ever used a consent app before? They do exist, there are quite a few of them. They tend to go under very quickly, and the reason they tend to go under very quickly is because they don't fucking shit you around and they're not good. They are no good. Don't ever use a consent app. Write down clearly what you're doing or saying. However, when you do write down clearly what you're saying or what you're about to do, it can be used in court against you with that. Which one is better? There is a group in Reddit of mainly men, penis owners, who admit clearly that they film all the sexual interactions that they have. Why do they? Do you know why? It's illegal to film like that without consent. Do you know why they do it? Because the sentence is better for illegal film than it is for rape. So at least they want to prove that the person said yes. And don't use the film for masturbation, you know, do shit, it's not a thrill, that they secretly covertly film just to prove that the person consented to everything. And then again, how you prove consent is also interesting because if it's implied, if it's not explicit, that's not spoken about, it adds more difficulties. So again, be careful about what you're doing. We also talk about, so is everyone here using safe word system? Okay. What does a safe word mean?
These are the standard ones, red and green.
So a safe word is a stop word for me. That's what I would start with as a form of explanation. If I'm using a safe word, it means to stop. So communicate, like my safe word is silver. If I say silver, what should you do immediately? Stop. But also some people want to push people to their limits. They want them to say safe word. What the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you do that? If it's a safe word, it's just ruin the moment. I want to take 2 limits. Mate, I've done all my limits. Like, what are you talking about?
With regards to the safe word, I like to use like traffic light system, but instead of just green, yellow, red, or green, yellow, orange, red, mine is like stop and check in rather than completely stop everything.
Yeah, and also I think we should have emotional safe words as well as physical safe words. I'm not in the right headspace for this right now. It's not what I really want to stop, but I'm not sure I can take it. So we have a slightly different system, or we say emotional level, something else as well. It's really important. That really matters as well. So, what people are talking about, I want to find the right link, wrong one. Is a lot of people are now also talking about different standards when we look at, when we go to Australia and some of the laws around consent. So Australia is quite ahead of the rest of the world when it comes to consent. What they talk about, which is slightly different, is EPP, explicit prior permission. That's a different standard that people are now starting to talk about ahead of them. One of the things I like to use very often is the Fries method. Have you seen the Fries method? Anyone seen that? The picture before or know about it? So the Fries method is about consent. What Fries stands for as an acronym means freely given. What's freely given? Coerced. Not coerced. No force, also no coercion. Oh, come on, please. I really need this. It'd be negotiated. Please pin me down. Yeah, and both people exist, not just the top as much as the bottom. Both people. Tops are not kink dispensers or sex dispensers. If they don't want to do it, well, if you're a real fucking dog, you would. If you loved me, you would. Oh, that's an interesting one, isn't it? I really need this right now for my release, please. We start to get into coercion. Be really careful about how much you're trying to sell somebody, how much they should do for us and to us, because we need it at the moment. When I did my first workshop for NAM, one of the questions I was asked, you were there, was, is BDSM a form of self-harm by proxy? You know, I just can't stand to ask me that in my first workshop. It's an interesting phrase, isn't it? Because actually, if we are asking for self-harm by proxy, it's better if somebody else does it when it comes to the day. I mean, in a different case, the top needs to fucking know that that's what they're consenting to at that moment in time as well. Is it just about you? And they may not want to do that. And it isn't one of the healthiest ways to get you in it. Freely given also means what medications do you take? What mood do you in today?
I think it also includes you're not under the influence.
You're what?
You're not under the influence.
You're not under the influence of any form of drug or alcohol, any way, shape, or form. Yeah. Until we go through these, and we'll stop. We've got to be so careful about what freely given means. It's really good, they understand what it means, it's not informed. Is it reversible at any time? If someone says stop or no, I've changed my mind, 100% yes. Please don't tell someone you desperately need it. I've got blue balls, no such thing, sorry guys. It doesn't exist, not in the same way you think it does. I really need to come, if you're a real man, if you're a real woman, if you're a real person, all of that stuff is shit, it really is. It needs to be informed, which we just spoke about, and it needs to be enthusiastic. However, it also needs to be specific. This is exactly what I'm agreeing to and how I'm going to do it. If any of you want this, what I'll do is I'll happily link you to my writing, which is all about this. What you think you understand about consent, the problem is you bring all that prior shit into a conversation we can have about consent. We need to ask the other person what they mean by it, what it looks like, and also sometimes, not in kink, but in other situations, consent really should exist in that format. And we can never truly consent to anything because we don't understand the impact of it. However, we need to keep the word consent in conversation all the time, otherwise abusers and other people will start to use it against us. I would really check people's experience of it, their prior knowledge, everything else we're just talking about, to make a big difference. Because if we don't, it's only you's going to pay, because you can't fucking consent to it anyway. And you will pay. Please think about tomorrow's headline, the police cannot on your door, what it means and what it looks like. So consent isn't quite what you think it is. It isn't blanket permission. And you also need to look at why am I doing consent? I might think I know why, but if it's about the other person, if you use phrases like, I want them to like me, I want to please them, this will be really good, think about, is that truly you giving consent? And does it fit with your ethics, your morals, and your values? As I say, investigate yourself, write your own pain samples, see what you can use to. It's such a useful product today, even if it's single. It doesn't matter. As I said earlier, don't give it to a person on the first date, so it's intense. It's too much, but at least when you know yourself, you can even snip it off it.
Even the first chapter.
Not even the first chapter. Hi, this is all about me. Fucking hell. But they are quite chunky things, so it's just a really good exercise to understand why you do what you do, and then you get the most out of it. But if you've got any questions, I'm the Pink Shrew contact, like if you want to write to me, I can send you a link to this writing if you want one as well. If you take a number, it's not a problem. I do not consent for you to be consistently use my number for anything else. You need to But if you want, I'm not here to teach you. I fucking charge money. So, but I don't for these because it really fucking matters to me that I'm trying to get the right message out. Do I think my message is good? Yeah, fucking I do. Because it's backed up in research. It's backed up in evidence. I'm not just saying this shit. This is the shit that gets you arrested, gets you in hospital, or causes emotional issues for us afterwards. That's what I base the shit on. So thank you for your time. If you want to ask me, I'll send you.